on Shabbat, Perek Gimel, Mishnah Bet. Our Mishnah is continuing to talk about the halachot of shihiyah and possibly hafsara, but mainly shihiyah. What foods are you allowed to leave on what kind of stove from before Shabbat? That's the halacha of shihiyah, as we've learned. So in the last Mishnah, we learned about what's called a kira. Okay, and we learned that a kira was an oven that has the area, the space for 2 pots. Okay, I found this really wonderful presentation on the internet. Okay, so they made this kid. I think I've actually found it from Arot where I teach, but Arot in Rehovot. He made this beautiful PowerPoint presentation. So just use your example. Kira is he actually built this thing. It's very nice. Kira is as we've learned before, had an area for heating below, and then there were spaces for 2 pots on top. That's a kira. Okay, and we learned the halacha was that, let me give you a little chart. So we learned, we still recording? Yes, we are. Okay, we learned that in a kira, okay, if it's hesikua bekash ugvava, if you put in straw or things that don't really turn into coals when you burn them, then you're allowed to leave not allowed to have shil, then you have shihiyah. Whereas if you fueled it with gefet, which was the sediment of olives or eitzim, or really branches, so then those things, when you burn them, they become coals. So therefore, you have to do what's called grufa uktuma. Lo yitain ad shigrof, until you scrape out the coals, or ad shitain et efer. And so that's here was where the fuel was. Okay, and then you have to either cover the fuel or you have to take it out. Our Mishnah, as a continuation, talks about 2 other types of cooking implementations or cooking utensils that they use in the times in the Mishnah. It says the Mishnah, tanur. Tanur is an oven, shehisikua bekash ugvava, even if you only fueled it with kash, straw, ugvava. Gvava was also kinds of small sticks. Lo yiten, you're not allowed to do shia in an oven, ben mitocho, ben me'al gabav. Whether it's mitocho, whether you're putting it inside the food, inside, or on top of it. Let's go back to the proper presentation. So, one second. Here, they're interesting. They found a picture of some Chinese guy with a kira that they use in China, and that's actually a beautiful example. Okay, so the tanur. Here's an example of a tanur. So the tanur was the Bartanura says it was round on the bottom. The fuel went in the bottom. Okay, the fuel was around the side. I guess they didn't put the fuel around the side, and then the tanur had a hole in the top. So the Mishnah says, I'll go to the next slide. Okay, you can't either lo yitain ben mitocho or ben mi al gabav, even if you want to put the food on top, not in the tanur. Nonetheless, you cannot do a shihiyah. Okay, why? Says the Bartanura. Okay, va'afilu isiku bikash ugvava. Even if you only put in straw and small sticks, we're afraid maybe you'll stoke the coals. A person is never mesiach dat. He never removes his mind from it. That I guess whatever reason, the tanur, the oven, was always unintentionally or naturally stoking the coals, and Chazal found that. It's clear to me from these Mishnayot that when these Mishnayot are based upon the experiences of the Chachamim, and that they all realize that we don't understand necessarily how they were cooking and to what was the natural instinct of a person who would cook back in those times. But they saw that if there was a kira and you stoked, you took out, you made some symbol, then you would know what to do, and a person would be careful. Whereas the tanur, a person wouldn't be careful. By the way, therefore, nowadays ovens that we consider ovens are a problem vis-a-vis the problem of shihiyah. Okay, leaving cooked food that's not cooked in an oven. There's no real way to cover the heating element in an oven, and that's why we don't really do shihiyah. We don't leave food cooking in an oven unless it's really fully cooked and it turns itself off, and it's mitztamek. We said mitztamek ve'ralo. Then a person could leave it in cooked, but otherwise we don't leave cooked food cooking in the oven from before Shabbat. That's a tanur. Now let's go back to my chart that I made for you. So we saw kira. Now we saw a tanur. Okay, here's the tanur, the oven. No matter whether you have kash and gavava or gefet and eitzim. Okay, let me just move this up a little bit. Lo yitain bein mitocho bein al gabav. You can't put any food, even if it's gufa uktuma. Back to the Mishnah. Kupach sheisiku. So there's a new utensil called a kupach. It's very interesting because it's clear in the time of the Mishnah they knew what a tanur, a kupach, and a kira was. It's like I'm saying a gas induction or induction oven or a gas oven or heat induction, whatever, or electric oven, and we'll know exactly what it was. But in 1,000 years, who knows what they're going to use? They use mind waves, whatever, to heat things up. So I have this kupach. So what is a kupach? Says the Bartanura, asuri kikira. It's made like a kira, rather. arkokirachbo, but it's square. Ve'enbo ela makom svidat kedera achat. There's only space for one pot. Ve'esh overet tachte, and the fire goes under it. Ve'hevlo rav mehevel akira. It's greater heat, greater intensity. Okay, and therefore it has a different din. It's hotter. So therefore, the Mishnah says this kupach sheisiku bekash ugvava. If you fueled it with straw, then then it's okay. Then it's like a kira. But if you fueled it begefet ve'etzim, if you fueled it with sticks or gefet or the remnant of the olives, then it becomes, those are things that can turn into coals. Then areu kitanur, meaning areu kitanur, no matter what you do, even if you did gufa uktuma, it retains its heat very well, and we're afraid you're going to stoke it no matter what, and therefore it's asur. Let's go back to my chart. Okay, it's the kupach. If it says yuku kashuk vava, then it's like a kira. Then notni malea tafshil, then you can do it. Kashuk vava, you don't even have to do gufa uktuma. But in the kupach, if it's gefet and eitzim, then it's exactly the same. Then it's exactly the same as the tanur. It's here, and these two are the same, and you can't put food on it, next to it, no matter what. Even if it's garufu katum, you can't do it with a kupach. What does a kupach look like? So the young man who made this thing, he just made he made a small picture. The kupach is a single kira. So here's a kira, and here's the kupach. He's just sort of, he made the picture smaller. Okay, there you go. So if you made it with kasha gvava, then it's like a kira, and if you did gufa, then you're okay. Whereas if you did it b'zefet ve'etzim, gefet ve'etzim, it's such a nice job here. Then it's like a tanur. So I don't know who made this. There's no name on the. Is there a name on the chart? But he made a chart at the end. Actually, that's a sikum. I had the idea. It's the same chart. I made it over here as well. So I don't know who made this chart from Orot Israel College, but I thank you very much. You put it on the internet. And that's one of the reasons I love doing these Mishnah Yomit on the internet, because there's so much material out there to share things visually. I hope you enjoy learning in this way as much as I enjoy teaching in this way. We'll stop here. As always, if you have comments or questions, email me, and we'll dedicate the learning to the memory of my father, Reb Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.